Oh, how I love paradise. I just love paradise. I just love it so much. I just can't get enough of it. That's why I'm potting these up. Come on, people. Have you seen this one before? This is amazing. Everyone's like, well, what's the big deal? It's just a bird of paradise. Just like any other old bird of paradise. Yeah, they're pretty, but they're everywhere, right? You know. Not this one. This is super cool. So some of the more astute people are like going, what? What? Right. So my job is to turn the not so astute people into astute people who will look at that and say, what? What? Anyway, yeah, that's what we got going on. So look at this. I came across these semi-leafless bird of paradise from a friend of mine. And I bought everyone that I could. Well, everyone that he had, he wanted to get rid of them. And I'm like, why does he want to get rid of them? Anyway, I'm like, well, dang, I'll take them. So we sold a bunch at the nursery. And then we got down to a critical point where I'm like, hey, if I don't secure a bunch of these and propagate them, they're literally going to go extinct in the nursery trade because I've never, ever seen these. Not only have I never seen them for sale other than my buddy, I've never seen them, period, like out and about. And so the internet is a really, really big place. So I would imagine someone watching this video has seen this plant somewhere at some point. And it would be interesting to get lots and lots of comments going, Gary, that's just some super common plant that we grow all day long in Miami. There's thousands of them. And some lady from 1921 hybridized the leafless bird with a regular bird, Gary, and it's called Strelitzia Gertrude. Gertrude's vertical or something like that. Anyway, it would be fun to get some messages like that and find out what the world knows about this plant. But I think it's extremely special. And I actually have different sort of clones of it. So these were obviously seed grown from hybridization, maybe accidental hybridization between Strelitzia juncea, the leafless bird of paradise, which this one looks a lot like. The leafless bird of paradise, when it's young, it makes these little tiny leaves. This may still turn out to be a true juncea, but I really don't think so, because I think at this point, usually the little baby leaves, when they first come up, there's little baby leaves, and then as it matures, those little baby leaves go away, and the true juncea, you'll just have nothing but spikes. But at this mature point, normally you wouldn't have these little leaflets. So this to me looks like it's and you can see how different this one is compared to this one, right? Totally different. And so I do have some variation in here, some really interesting ones, and I'm not sure which ones I like the most. I like them all. And then again, here's another one that looks a lot like a regular juncea, except that, again, the juncea will give up these little leaves once it matures, and this is really mature. So anyway, we're propagating as many as we have. I stopped selling them at a certain critical point. I'm sorry. That's the only way I can guarantee the survival of this special plant. And we're just rocking and rolling on them. And then down here at the place in San Diego, we're filling the space up. This is a really beautiful, special Butea capitata that's extremely tight. Can't really tell it's on the truck, but it's really unique. Has a cool ruffled look to it. It's kind of a more miniature. But I'm going to plant that over next to the pool. So things are happening. Things are shaking. So I'm not going to be selling these yet. I want to grow these on for another year. And then we're going to divide them again. And then we'll have a whole bunch. And at that point, we'll be able to sell these things. So you're probably looking at a release date of, let's see, it's March 21. March 22, say March 23, spring of 23. I bet you we could sell some of these things. But, you know, I got to have a critical mass to be able to propagate them. Aren't they pretty though? Aren't they beautiful? Cello, how beautiful are my plants?
They're so beautiful.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this one before?
No, this is the first time I see it.
Yeah, and Cello gets around, man. This guy is an amazing horticulturalist. He's the head of the gardens here, and he's the head foreman of the place. And he's been working here forever, way before I had the property. His dad worked on the property before he was working on it. So anyway, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's all over San Diego. You've never seen it anywhere, right?
Yeah.
All right. You heard it from Cello. It's unique. So I want to know if anyone's seen this plant. Let me know. And I'm going to get back to having some more fun in paradise. So I wanted to show you kind of what one looked like when it's in the ground here. It's not blooming, but you can see here that this is the semi-leafless bird. So, and this is one of the clones. This has a fairly larger leaf, but obviously much smaller than the regular bird of paradise. So it's a much neater looking plant. It's more formal looking. Of course, we haven't, manicured this at all. You can get in here and trim these old ones out, make it look really good. I have two right here at the entrance to this patio right there on either side. But I wanted to show you kind of how neat and beautiful this plant, because the bird of paradise gets a little bit unruly looking, if you ask me. They can get big and wild. So this one doesn't get too enormously tall. It only gets to about 3 feet, maybe a little bit more. Keeps its really formal, beautiful appearance. I guess I should make a name for this cultivar, since it's semi-leafless bird of paradise, but I could probably get more creative than that. Anyway, let me know what kind of names you think I should be looking at for this thing. And I'm going to actually put a link on the bottom of a video I made of a really beautiful one I used at my client's house when I was selling these things, when I had enough to sell. And take a look at that. That one's blooming. It's really pretty. But here it is, all grown out. These are going to be dug up and propagated. That's why I put them here, so I could preserve this strain under these sort of safe conditions within my garden. And that's the whole story. Okay, borrowing a bloom from a regular bird of paradise, I think I came up with the perfect name for this plant. Well, I walk around, and yes, what I'm pretty sure is a woman's, no, I'm absolutely sure it's a woman's robe. I saw this at, it was really cold in winter. I was at Walmart, and I was walking through, and I'm like, look at that thing. It's actually a really big woman's robe. And it was only $14 at Walmart. So if you want to know, it's another product endorsement. This thing is great. Great. On a cold winter day, such as today, you get up, walk around your garden, not quite ready for the day yet. You throw your robe on, and it's like wearing a nice soft blanket. It's just so soft. So don't underestimate women's clothing when you're a man. Sometimes you can find really good stuff. And so here you go. Don't knock it till you try it. But walking around in my robe here, I decided a really good name for this plant. And I welcome you to beat the name that I just came up with. How about, let's call it Strelitzia Nearly Naked. That sounds good, huh? Strelitzia Nearly Naked, because it's a semi-leafless bird of paradise. And I'm going to stick with that. Strelitzia Nearly Naked. Welcome to the world.